Right guys, I think everybody knows what I'm going to be talking about this morning, about the events that took place in Epping last evening and last night. Just going to give a little bit of advice and some of my thoughts on the situation that took place there. So, first off, a little bit of advice, some constructive criticism when you're actually protesting. My first bit of advice would be, don't protest outside these illegal immigrant hotels. It's a flashpoint for anger and aggression, because I saw people drinking. Alcohol lowers your inhibitions. It can make you do things that you wouldn't normally do, and in a moment of insanity, you can ruin your entire life. So I would say, don't protest outside the illegal immigrant hotels. Don't drink at these protests. It's not good optics either. It isn't. If you've got a bunch of drunken people shouting at an illegal immigrant hotel, that's just feeding into the narrative of the establishment. Look at these rabid, drunken, far-right thugs. You're playing straight into the narrative that the mainstream media will portray you as. That's the way they'll spin it. And think about who's running the country at the minute. We've got a hard left communist Starmer regime. They control the mainstream media, so they can paint that situation in Epping any way they want, literally any way they want. So don't play into their narrative. So don't protest outside the migrant hotels. Don't go drunk. Do go to your town centre and protest. Do peaceful protests outside your town halls, your council buildings. Draw attention that way. Wake up the people of the town to the predicament of what is going on in their town. That's far more productive than going way out into the sticks where the majority of people can't get to and won't turn up. You'll probably increase your numbers doing a peaceful protest in the town centre and stuff like that. That's just my advice, tactics that way. If you do a protest outside an illegal immigrant hotel, my advice would be, any people that turn up masked up with balaclavas, anything like that, if you're the one that organised it, or if you're taking up a leadership role within that situation, if you're an auditor and you're walking around and you see these people balaclavaed up wearing masks, tell them to take the masks off. You've got to have the same policy that Tommy Robinson has at his rallies. Don't turn up with masks on, because the only reason you're going to a protest covering your face, masked up, is because you intend to do aggression. That's the only reason you do it for, because you don't want people to know who you are. That's the only reason they're there. And it could be agent provocateurs of the state there to simply provoke a reaction. Now, this could take two types of agent provocateur. You'll have the ones that deliberately try and go and provoke the police, who will attack them, and then all of a sudden they'll just disappear. You won't see them again, because now they've riled up the crowd. They've seen one of who they think is their own being attacked by the police, and now you've got an escalation in violence. The second type of agent provocateur will be the ones that are mixed in within the crowd, that are shouting for the crowd to do certain things, like attack them, let's get in, let's go. If you see people like that, challenge them. Go up to them, make sure you record them on your phone and ask them why they're saying that. Challenge them. And then ask them to leave the protest. Say, this is a peaceful protest, you need to leave because you're going to cause trouble. That's what you need to do. You need to take control of the narrative, take control of the situation. So let's look at some of the things that actually happened last night. So the police's action, for starters. Whoever's the idea was to march up Antifa to where the protest was insanity. In all cases, the police's job is to de-escalate and maintain the peace. Do you really think that marching up Antifa to a highly volatile crowd of people who are clearly upset about what's going on in their community, about their children being sexually assaulted by people from that migrant hotel, do you really think it's a smart move to march up people who are going to shout obscenities at them like Nazi scum off our street? We even had video footage of one of these absolute scumbags saying that the little girl involved, the 14-year-old girl involved in this, lied. Do you really think it's a good idea to allow people like that into a highly volatile situation? Now, the people that allowed this to happen, the hierarchy of the police that allowed this to happen, are either incredibly stupid and incompetent, or this was deliberate. Now, I'm going down, I think this was deliberate. This was deliberately done to try and provoke a violent reaction. It was. No doubts about it in my mind. What other reason would you have to march up Antifa to an already volatile situation, other than to cause a breach of the peace? All those police officers involved in that should be arrested. They caused a breach of the peace. They caused it. I want to talk about some of the police officers as well. I was watching them, and you could tell that they were just itching to get violent. A lot of them were. They got their pepper sprays out, ready to deploy, protecting the scumbags, itching to attack. And we've seen pictures of this in the past, where they've been training against people wearing the Union flag, the St. George's Cross. We've been seeing them training against people in crowd control and riot control. To me, this is just them being psyched up to attack the British public. I saw the video footage of them driving into people. Now, the police have a duty of care. To me, in that situation, they were under no direct threat. They weren't being charged at. There were no massive crowds surrounding their vans where they drove through the crowd. They could have just sent in a couple of riot police, cleared the road of any obstacles, informed the people, the protesters, to stay out of the road, and calmly drive through. That didn't happen. They drove in to several protesters. Do you see that on the Just Stop Oil protests? Do you see that on the pro-Palestine marches? Do you see anything like that? Do you even see the police in riot gear during the pro-Palestine marches? They came geared up last night in Epping because they wanted a rumble. They wanted a fight. They've probably been training for months to go in hard against the native population, and they were eager to do it. That's what I took away from that situation. And for the love of God, stop trying to reason with the police. I know you think you can reason with them. You can't. Trust me, I know, because I went through similar training with what I was doing. They're trained to ignore you. That's why they don't talk to you. They're trained not to talk to you. They're trained not to react to you. They're trained not to have any sort of compassion towards you whatsoever. So stop trying to talk to them. They have chosen their side. That's obvious. They're deeply politicized, these people. Stop trying to negotiate with them. You won't negotiate with them. You won't. It's a very dangerous situation we have in this country right now. We have I don't know how to put it. The country is literally a powder keg, and look at the way they've actually positioned these illegal immigrant hotels. They deliberately put them into our communities, deliberately. Everybody asked the question, why weren't camps built? Obviously, if they want to keep these people safe, why not just have them in detention camps behind barbed wire? Nobody would be able to get to them. It would be easy for them to be processed, and none of them would be allowed to leave until they've been processed, until their real identity has been established. Why put them among the general population? No other country does that. They're either in prison. If you enter this country illegally, you go to prison. No other country grants illegal immigrants asylum, because there are far easier ways to do it than cross the channel. You can literally get on a plane, come to a country's border control and say, I want to claim asylum. And that's it. Why put these people into our communities? It's been done by design. It was to cause flashpoints. They want these people to be committing crime, the establishment. This is by design. They want them to do this. And last night was why. It gives the state an excuse to clamp down further on freedoms and freedom of speech. Every time you get violent, every time that this happens, you're playing straight into the state's hands. You're giving them the tools they need to complete the job. This is why I say, don't protest outside these illegal immigrant hotels. Go to your town centres. Because after all, who are the people in charge of these hotels? Your local council. If you protest them, you'll motivate them to shut down these hotels and demand that they be moved out of the area. That's what needs to happen. Anyway, I don't know what else to say on this. Video's gone on, it's about 11 minutes long. Don't make it too long. But yeah, don't get violent. Don't fall into the state's trap of becoming violent. Because the minute you do that, you've lost. And the state has won. My advice to anybody is, if you see masked up people turn to the event, go home. Go home, walk away from it. Dissipate the protest. Because once you see all these masked people turn up, you've lost control of the situation. It's going to turn violent. Don't associate with it. If I was going to be really controversial, I would say at the minute, given how volatile the country actually is, I would say any protest is very risky at this moment in time now. It is. Any protest outside these hotels is dangerous. And I wouldn't do it. Like I said, I would organise a peaceful protest, liaise with your local police outside your council buildings, your town halls. Don't play into their narrative. Destroy the narrative. Take back control of it. Control the battlefield. You stand more chance of winning the battle if you control where the battle is fought. Anyway, that's all I've got to say on this for now. I might do a live stream later, I don't know, I'll see how things go. But yeah, remember, just stay peaceful at these things. Don't allow them to provoke you into action that you'll regret. Because at the end of the day, who's really going to lose? It's going to be yourselves. They're going to come at the crack of dawn, kick your door in, drag you away, and your life's ruined. It's not worth it, guys. It's not. We're in this together. The way that we're going at the minute, things are going to change dramatically in this country. They really are. And a few outbursts of anger and aggression aren't going to help things at this point in time. Keep your powder dry and keep cool heads, and we'll get through this. This is Vindicator, signing off.